Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com. And today I want to talk to you about a Vivaldi concerto. Just one. A single Vivaldi concerto. I know that's practically unheard of. Vivaldi usually comes in huge clumps. I mean, the Four Seasons is the smallest clump with an entire group of 12 concerti associated with it, most of which nobody listens to, but some of them we do. And then there's L'Estro Armonico. He published these things in groups of 6 and 12. And then there are millions of individual works. And it's one of those individual works I want to talk about. It's on this disc and several others, by the way, conducted by Claudio Scimone with I Solisti Veneti. It's not called anything. It's called the Concerto in C Major RV 558. That's what you need to remember. Remember that number, RV, which is Reihm's Verzeichnis. Rehm was the guy who made the Verzeichnis, the catalog of Vivaldi's stuff. And it's number 558. And who would know, right? No, 558 is extraordinary. Why is it extraordinary? Well, it's part of a group of concerti that Vivaldi wrote, which he simply called, or somebody called, con molto strumenti. That means with many instruments. And this piece is nuts. There is nothing else like it except Vivaldi's other concerti for molto strumenti. There are a whole bunch of them. There's a handful of them. I mean, not a huge number, but a good solid little chunk, enough for there to have been a couple discs issued called like Vivaldi con molto strumenti with a bunch of these concerti. They are for everything but the kitchen sink, Baroque-wise. Now, this one, I just love this piece. This one is composed. Here is the solo group. You ready? 2 flutes, 2 chalumeaux or salmoe in Italian. Those are clarinets. They're the precursor of the clarinets. No valves, no tone, no nothing, but they're clarinets. So 2 flutes, 2 chalumeaux, 2 violins in tromba marina. Now, no one's quite sure what that is. A tromba marina, we know what that is. A tromba marina is a very strange-looking tripodal object with a single string and maybe some sympathetic strings behind it, tuned about to the pitch of a cello, a large cello string, the cello's deepest string. And it's got one string and a bow, and you play it, and it makes noises, probably fairly nasty noises. Why it was called a tromba marina, it was also called a nun's fiddle for some reason, but why it was called a tromba marina is because the raspy, odd tone of it supposedly imitated the sound of a marine trumpet, whatever that sounded like. I mean, it's a very old instrument. And by the time Vivaldi was writing for this piece, it obviously had gone out of fashion. And a violin in tromba marina is something no one's quite sure what you're supposed to do with it. But that's what it is. So there are 2 of those. So we've got, let's just summarize, 2 flutes, 2 clarinets, 2 violins in tromba marina, 2 mandolins, because you had lots of mandolins, 2 theorbos, which are, related to the lute or guitar, that sort of thing, cello, strings, and harpsichord. How's that for a concerto assortment? I mean, that's quite the selection, isn't it? And it's a marvelous work, really a marvelous work. And like all Vivaldi concerti, it's rather short. It's about 10 minutes long. If it's played on period instruments, it's usually a minute or 2 shorter. It's very zippy. It's just timbrally so fascinating. It's so interesting to listen to the thing, just to listen to it. It was arranged for modern instruments by Alfredo Casella, and Leonard Bernstein recorded it, of all people. And he replaced some of the theorbos with harps and stuff. I mean, he modernized the instrumentation. It actually sounds marvelous. It's an absolutely wonderful arrangement. If you want to hear Bernstein's recording of it, it's great fun. And there are a bunch of versions of this, some on period instruments, some not. And I adore this concerto. It has everything Vivaldi you look for in Vivaldi. It has some great tunes. It's rhythmically really spunky and captivating in the outer movements. I mean, the sound of the guitars and the mandolins and the flutes and the clarinet things and the violini and tromba marina. I don't know what they use to do that. I have no clue. Oh my goodness, what a wonderful, wonderful work. And I just want to recommend it to you. Remember this number, RV558. And this disc also, by the way, there's a big box on Warner of all the Claudio, Scimone, Vivaldi stuff. But this was the original single disc. It's like 45 minutes of music. It was originally out on Erato, as you can see. It also has three of his mandolin concerti, the concerto for two mandolins, and the normal one for mandolin, and the real famous one, which is RV93. Remember that number, 93. RV93 has, that famous slow movement. Dum ba dum ba dum ba da da dum ba 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 dum. You know that one. So that's in here too. In case you were wondering where that was, that's RV93 for mandolin, strings, and harpsichord. But my goodness, it's RV558 that I just wanted to tell you about. And you can go find it. I'm sure it's on YouTube. You can go listen to it. It's just such a gem, an absolute gem. And if you like it, you can go find the other concerti for multi strumenti. I think that's what it would be, right? Multi-strumenti? I don't know, whatever it is in Italian. It's terrific. So keep on listening, friends. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care.